Christian character trait, resourcefulness versus wastefulness, finding practical use for that which others would overlook or discard. Right? Finding practical use for that which others would overlook or discard. Romans 5:8. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Ephesians 2:8-9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourself, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. What are we talking about? Resourcefulness versus wastefulness. What I learned as a non-believer, living a life of sin, living on the streets, going to prison 2 times. I did 17 and a half years in prison for murder. I was guilty. I went and I did my time. I got out, still didn't believe in God and didn't want to read the Bible. And I went to selling heroin and meth and became homeless. And my friends and other people come to me that were talking about the Lord. And when that time came, I called out to God. I started reading the Bible. One thing I realized is the second term, I'm waiting in the county jail reading the Bible. God put his hand on me reading the scripture, right? And now I'm going through the prison, right? Knowing the fine line you have to walk, because I did it for 17 and a half years. I was still institutionalized. So I used what I learned the first time, the second time, but how to apply it without compromising my integrity with the Lord, right? Usefulness versus wastefulness. How do I use something in the context of a Christian walk in a sinful, broken environment, a system, right? Prison system, finding practical use for that which others would overlook or discard. We think that just because I'm a Christian now, I can't do certain things because that's what they did. But I had to learn to walk in faith and to use what I knew and how to do it within the context of Christian, right? So I didn't waste it. Now I speak to people about the Lord that I used to be: convicts, prisoners, or ex-cons and drug addicts, right? I've been there. I know them, right? One time I was working at the Los Angeles Dream Center as security, and I seen these people on the camera about walking with backpacks, right, and baggy clothes. And I seen on the camera, so I ran out there with the big old flashlight. They were gonna do graffiti. I used to do graffiti. I knew what they were gonna do. I knew their walk. I knew the way they carried themselves. I knew what they were wearing. I knew who they were. And I ran out there and I was like, "You're about to do graffiti," and they're like, "No, I wasn't." Da da da. And I'm like, "Look it," and I showed them my testimony. I had pictures of graffiti. Everything in my past, I have it on my phone so that I could look at. I know I used to do this. And once they seen this, they opened up like, what are you doing now? And I'm like, I'm security. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about the Lord. So I use resourcefulness. I didn't waste the knowledge that I had, right? I didn't waste the knowledge that I had. Even though it's not really good knowledge, I used it for the good. Right? What did Joseph say to his brothers? What you meant for evil, God meant for good. So I used something that was not good or evil, and I used it to reach people for the good. Right? And so I started witnessing them about the Lord, and I witnessed how I went to prison. I got out, went back to prison, started reading the Bible, and God put his hand on my life. And I'm here to tell them that I'm not here to convict them and attack them. I'm here to tell them the truth, right? But if you're going to continue to do what you do, and like I did when people told me, right, just please don't do it here, because next time I'm going to call the cops, right? And so I at least got to speak to them. And now I'm a teacher. I put myself to Bible college. I graduated, and now I'm a teacher of here at the Los Angeles Dream Center. Discipleship is a Christian discipleship program. And it's people of addiction, right? Prison, homelessness. So I know how to speak to them because I was them. I was them. How do I reach people? Right? How did people reach me? Right? How did I learn the Bible? How did I apply it to my life? And I used this gift of my past, right? And brought it in to the new creation. How do I use this sinful lifestyle? How am I being resourceful with it? How do I not waste it? Right? How do I not waste it? It says, but God demonstrates his own love for us this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So, right? Christ died even though I was a sinner, but now I'm a new creation. How do I use my old life to reach people to know the truth that it's all right that you lived a certain way, but that's why Jesus died for us, right? And it's by grace we have been saved through faith, and it is not of yourself. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. You can't save yourself, right? All you just got to do, believe. Faith will lead you to salvation, right? Faith is what a substance of things hoped for, of evidence of things not seen, right? So I use my past knowledge of sinful life and I bring it in to the new creation. I resourceful. I don't waste it. I use it. I'm able to see things. I'm able to look around and be observant. Something I learned in 17 years in my first term. Pay attention to the movement of people, right? People get stabbed in prison. You have to be on point. Riots kick off. You can see it. You can see the tension on the yard. You can feel it. It's spiritual. How do I use this in this new creation? So I'm walking down the street. I'm driving it. I can see things. I could see things in people sometimes. I could see, right? I could see if you're open to receive. Right? I don't just walk up to people and start preaching to them. I could see. I had to go to people that their hearts are prepared, right? I have to be resourceful, use the knowledge, right? And apply it to my life, which is wisdom. Knowledge is what you receive, right? Wisdom is applying to your life. Right? Is this person going to receive it? Is he open to receive it? Another one I used to remember when I was a non-believer, people used to always want to preach to me, like, man, I ain't trying to hear it. So when people ask for money, I used to have people selling heroin for me on the streets. They would go and panhandle young girls too, right? And they would get the money. That's how they buy the drugs from me. So now I see people panhandling, the homeless, right? I'm not going to give them money because I know personally from my own experience, right, what I used it for and what they used to buy for me, which was panhandling, right? So they used to buy off me. I was the connect, right, on the streets in the homeless communities. So I don't give them money. If I have money to spare, I'd be like, you hungry? I'll buy you food, right? Which is, see, I got knowledge. I'm resourceful. I got the knowledge of what I used to do and how I used to have people working for me, right? And I use it for wisdom, right? I apply it to my life. Like, no, I'm not going to give you money. I'm not going to participate in the destruction of your life. But if you are hungry, I will buy you food, which is a positive thing, right? You need to eat, right? And then I will tell them, once I buy them the food and give it to them in their hand, then I tell them, do you know about the Lord? You should pray. I didn't believe either. And now they don't feel like they have to listen to it in order to receive something. I gave it to them first, and then I preached to them after, right? So resourcefulness versus wastefulness, right? Finding practical use for that which others would overlook or discard. Don't overlook or discard the knowledge that you have of your past. Don't waste things. Pay attention. Be resourceful. Use what God has given you, the gift. How do you use it for the kingdom? Be resourceful, right? Amen.